Okay, let's look at 151, and I'm trying a new angle here to hopefully we have less problem with that glare. So this is the interval of a fifth, 151 going up. Let's start in a familiar place, and I want you to know that you could figure out where the 5 is without me telling you. You know where the 4 is, right? And you know that 1, 2, 3, 4. When you went from 3 to 4, that was a half step. So it's going to be a while before you get another whole step. So definitely the 5 is going to be a whole step higher. And so you got your 1. I'll point with, make sure you can see. 1, 5, 1. 1. Next string higher. 5, 1. Let's stay in the same fret and go down to the 6th string and work our way through the circle of fourths. 1, 5, 1. Oops, sorry. 1, 5, 1. The correct way to finger that would be 1, 1, 5, 1, which is a little harder to see what I'm doing, but I also want you to see correct technique. That doesn't sound right, does it? We need to allow for the 2nd string bump. So instead of being right here, it's going to be, the most proper way would be with your finger, with your pinky. Might be a good time to train your pinky, or you could just, that's legal too. When we go up a 4th, now we have to do our 2nd string bump. But now the interval is going to be same as it was on the other strings. I'm moving, this is not good technique. I'm moving this finger so you can see what we're doing. So, okay. Now this note, oh, yeah. I do want you to play it on the same string. I'm sorry. And if you can't find it, you don't have to memorize, okay, a 5th is how many frets higher. You can figure it out. You know it's 1, 2, let me do this with one finger. 1, 2, 3, after 3 comes 4, half step, and now a whole step. It's also funny, like sometimes just try it, and you might nail it. That happens for me sometimes. It's like, I don't really know which one it's going to be, but I just kind of like take a leap of faith and I land on the right one. And that's what happens after doing these exercises for a while. That's why you want to play from all the way down here to all the way up. Okay, so we were here, then we would go to the same fret and keep going. Let's go and look at it at the nut. Okay, let's see where, there we go. I think we don't have a reflection now. Open 6th string, and so we learned, well, let's say we're on our own. We got to figure it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 is a half step to the next string. 5 is a whole step higher. So that's one way of figuring it out. Let's go up to the next string. So see how it's the same. Okay, I want to point something out here. When we played here, you can see that it's 2 frets higher and it's the next smaller string. That's the shape. Can you see that shape here and here? Well, it's also the same shape here and here. If you give this spot, call it a spot, here to here. See how it's the same shape from here to here as it is from here to here? That's really key in understanding what's going on down here. We tend to only see the points, like we visualize the points, that are above the nut, but think of that as a point. Think of that as part of your shape. It's hard to play like this. Okay. Now we're going to have our second string bump. Whoops. So instead of here, it's going to be here. Whoops, sorry. Or, sorry. Our one was the third string, so now it's going to be second string bump. And now we have the same shape again as we had before. Now we're going to go up a fourth. So remember what I said about just take a stab at it. Go ahead. Ba, da, da. See if you hit it. Okay, let me try. So if you want to learn it, it's right here. You do want to get the sound in your head correctly. So here's 7, here's 9, so it's the 8th fret. Whoops. Now we're here. We come down. Now we can use the shape that we learned earlier. Now I'm going to use proper fingering. Second string bump. And we come from this point down to here. Now I want to point out, we've done this enough times, we can think about, think a little more. We want to look for those times when we have a choice. What do we know about this spot right here? We are now, let's see, did I skip? I may have skipped a little bit, but when we get to this point, 3rd fret, 6th string, let's look at what other note sounds just like this note? I'm at the 5th fret. So the next lower string, well, it's higher in pitch, sounds the same. So you have when you're in this fret, you could play 3rd fret and then skip a string. Let me show you. Make sure you can see. But if I skip a string, whoops, it's not working because now we're spanning the second string bump. What would have to happen in order to, if it weren't for the second string bump, let's see what we can find. If it weren't for the second string bump, so it would be, and this is a key thing to know about guitar. This is a very playable interval, a very playable position. This is actually in the F chord, this note and this note, if I were to make an F chord. So that's a very playable thing that happens. And you have a choice, or we could just, or we could just play here. I'll call it the old-fashioned way. Now, we're going to have our second string bump. So sort of a heads up, when we're looking for those opportunities where we have more than one way, two things. You can choose to just play it one way. It's up to you. If it's overwhelming to try to play it both ways, you can play it one way for a while and then go play it the other way. But at some point, you want to go like this. Let me show you. Let me get back here, see if you can see both. I'm playing with the closed string here and also the open string. So make the exercise 1, 5, 1, So you get it ingrained that you have that choice. And there are times in music like when you, oh, that is like that lick we were playing. One of the twos I played by fretting here, and the other two I played with the open string. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Okay, so we want to look for opportunities to use the open strings. It's not always open strings, but sometimes often we have a choice. We can play it two different ways. Down in here, it's going to be when you have the opportunity to take advantage of one of the open strings that sounds just like a fretted note that you might play. And the sort of a hint that the guitar will give you that you're going to have an opportunity like that is whenever you're playing a note that also has an open string. So, for example, the one we just used, that has a similar, the same sounding note that is open. Another time that happens is when you're here, and it only happens, for this string, when you're on the 4th fret 3rd string, you have an open 2nd string. So if we were playing, so I'm figuring this out as we go. Yeah. So this would be one you could play like that, or let's see. Okay. So we talked about 151 down here. We talked about 151 in here. We talked about playing those before we go on down. Oh, you could play it here too. Okay, I think that's it for now. If I think of more fun ways to play that exercise, it will be in the play along video that I make. I'll make a play along video for each exercise. Okay, well, that's your 151. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.